State Representative Rob Matthew was here earlier, and he left. We didn't get a chance to put him on camera, but he's been doing something that I think is extremely important in Harrisburg when it comes to fracking within distance, of a water plant, and he's making sure that the water will stay safe. Jared, please explain to the audience that people from Shell and others are doing their due diligence, so the people of Beaver County are not, people like Rob Matthew, they're not going to have to worry about what's happening with this ethane cracker.
Well, yeah, certainly from the cracker plant's perspective, we have a lot of good workers going into that. They are getting the permits. They're doing it safely. The truth is that this industry has gotten a lot safer over time. At one point, early on, there were concerns, and maybe there were even some mistakes, some things that happened. But the process has grown dramatically and improved dramatically over the last decade that we've been doing this. And now with the cracker plant coming in, this is going to be clean. Again, if you think back to our history, our history is steel. It was dirty. There was a lot of smoke in the air. This is going to be a very clean, very safe, very environmentally friendly process that is not going to lead to even nearly a fraction of the pollution that we saw back then. And again, the positive aspects are that it's going to have the jobs that come with it that are going to replace those jobs we lost when that steel industry left. This is really it's the steel industry for the next generation, for my generation, for my children's generation, and maybe even their children. So like my parents and grandparents worked in the mills, hopefully my kids and grandkids will work in the petrochemical industry here in Beaver County and throughout Southwest PA. It's really going to be a great day for us as we bring these jobs in, and we had to do a lot of work to get it to happen. Certainly working with Rob Matthew and others. There were a lot of things that former Governor Corbett and I disagreed with, cuts to public education and such, but one thing he did was work with us to get the incentives to bring Shell here, which they said were necessary to get them here. And it's a big part of the reason why they came. Another reason they came is because of the work ethic that was built up by those generations in the steel industry. So we want to make sure that we continue to employ people and do the right things here in Beaver County, and as we do that, it's just going to grow even more and more, and it's going to be like, again, a safer, cleaner version of what we had many years ago.
I talk to Pat Nardelli on a regular basis from Castlebrook, and I learn about what each and every one of those hotels mean when they come to this region. All of it's significant. It all goes into the same pool. It all goes into the same, bank account, if you will, and that's all of us counting and banking on Beaver County. One other thing before we go, and then I'm going to give everybody that's actually in office, running for office, a chance just to give a little message to you before we say goodbye from Brady's Run. But earlier today on my way to work in the 3 o'clock hour, it started to trend on my smartphone, CNN. They had a bunch of protests in Milwaukee because of an assailant who was shot by police after they were in pursuit. And of course, an officer in southern Georgia right outside of Macon gets shot and killed. And Lou Gentile, and I've talked about this many times, you've got this issue when it comes to officers and traffic stops and African Americans. Right now, I see our country being torn apart because of what's happening between the private sector and those who are trying to serve and protect. And those who complain about law enforcement are the same people that when they're in trouble, they reach out to them. Lou said to me after the incident in Dallas when those officers were shot in cold blood how tragic that was, but it was going to be the beginning. Okay, so it is the beginning. How do we get to the middle and hopefully the end and a happy ending when it comes to making people, as we all did growing up, respect law and order? Lou.
I think that the visceral reaction on behalf of the African American community is a symptom. It's a symptom of their lack of ability, the lack of opportunity to achieve what they feel that they can achieve as human beings. They have not been given the opportunity, for the most part, to be able to achieve that. Without question, there's institutional racism. Without question, the data confirms the fact that it is not primarily on behalf of law enforcement. It is not. What you're seeing is a cohort of the population that's reacting to the only legitimate sign of authority in a democratic representative form of democracy, and that's the uniform and the person with the badge and a gun. And that's what we're seeing. So we have to do what Aaron was talking about yesterday, a root cause analysis, and find out what the problem is. And the problem is the lack of opportunity, the problem is no jobs, and the problem is just this reaction to say, I'm frustrated, but who are they going to react to? who could they react to? Are they going to react to a former congressperson? Are they going to react to a legislator? Are they going to react to Jared Gibbons? No, they're going to react to that person who's in that uniform. So you have some terrible incidents that are occurring. I understand that, but there's 867,000 cops on the street. You know, so you're seeing one, and the media, quite frankly, isn't helping the matter.
All right, Jared Gibbons, you've got a few seconds to kind of give us your thoughts, and we'll kind of go left to right here before we say goodbye from Brady's Run. Go ahead.
Oh, I said, I'm great to be here today working to help make sure we get Democrats elected. I know it's going to be a year that I want to continue working to make sure that we do the things that we need to for our community. Creating jobs. We talked about the cracker plant. We need to continue to grow on that. Rebuilding our downtowns. We need to make sure that we continue to grow these downtown communities so we can get people on the main streets, businesses in the storefronts, so that we can grow the communities that we once had here back in the day and be vibrant like we once were. We need to continue to strengthen our schools, not continue to cut funding from them as has happened over the last several years. We need to make sure we invest in public education so that we have a workforce that's ready to go work for those jobs at Shell and all the other companies that will be coming in. And then lastly, we need to make sure that we continue to make government work for the people. Be open, transparent, and make sure that we're working hard for all the people of Beaver County and really all the people of Pennsylvania and the United States to make sure that we are doing the job that they're sending all of us elected officials to do, whether it's the county courthouse, the state house, or Washington, D.C.
Here's a guy that's got much more at stake than his office. He's got his growing family. How many, 2?
3.
3. See? It's been about 9 months since I've seen you, right? All right, Aaron, go ahead. Your thoughts.
Mary McClellan. I'm the Democratic nominee for the United States Congress. I'm running for this because I'm a member of the first generation of Americans to inherit a world worse off than their parents. And I do believe most of that is attributed to the fact that we have started running for office in sound bites and ideas that aren't really based on solving problems. I think if we start looking at the inarguable goals that unite us instead of the ideologies that divide us, we can move forward. We all agree that healthcare is a problem in this country. It's our biggest financial one. But if we focus on things like $1.2 trillion in medical errors every year and eliminating the fact that we kill 3 to 4 jumbo jets full of people in our healthcare system every day, that saves us a lot of money. That's a great way forward. We all agree that this opiate epidemic is out of control. We're seriously disagreeing on how to do that. But we're talking about saving children, we're talking about reforming families, and we're talking about helping our community first responders in this process, and we can all agree on that. So that's what I'm looking for. It's not a right or left issue, it's a local issue for me, and when I get to Congress, that's what I plan on fighting for.
Tony, how do you keep doing what you're doing, maybe even do it better?
Well, working together, compromise. You know, our government was formed because of compromise. It happened because of compromise. It survived because of compromise. So the only way the government, whether it's the county government, state government, or federal government, is going to survive is through compromise. And when they learn that in Washington, when they learn that in Harrisburg, and now, unfortunately, when we learn that here in Beaver County, then we'll be very, very successful.
Okay, on this date, August 14, 2016, I asked Mike Rossi, your first few weeks in office, if elected, what are you going to do?
First few weeks in office, build me a bridge and I'll walk across it. Build me a dam and I'm going to bust through it. I want to work together. I want to reach out. The only way, you've heard everybody, it's the common thread here, is you have to work together. It's common sense. It's not rocket science. It's just common sense. Sit down, hash it out, and forget your political and personal agendas. Put it behind you. That's my goal. I did it before, and I will do it again.
I've said this many times on the radio, and I'm going to give him the final minute or whatever he wants. The future of the Beaver County Democratic Party. What do you want people to know, Lou Gentile?
I want them to know this is what we're all about. We're about not just Democrats. We're about people. It's everyone. It's all races. It's all colors. It's all creeds. It's about the things that we profess that we're about. It's about equality. It's about inclusion. It's about jobs. It's about social justice. It's about public service. That's what we're about, and that's what you're going to see.
All right, now that we've done that, could I just have a Miller Lite and go home? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this edition of your Pratt Pack Out and About. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and remember, if you communicate, you can get things done. Have a great day.
Thank you.